Like you can think about something and feel sad. Like when you feel hurt, betrayed, like someone just stabbed you through the heart, it's very different, right? So hurt is a signal from our unconscious mind that I currently have expectations that aren't being met. So the question then becomes, am I aware of my expectations? 1. 2, are my expectations realistic? Let's unpack those. So why would you want to teach this to a client? Because if they're constantly getting this pattern of hurt and they actually aren't aware of what the expectation is that's not being met, then how can they then determine whether 1, it's realistic, or 2, it's been communicated? It's really important. So if we have expectations about someone's performance or behavior, but we've never ever communicated that to them, then why should we feel hurt when it's not met? But we do. And why do you think we do? Because we project our inner world onto the experience. And if our internal map says, hey, this is something that should be respected, this is something that should be done, and then it's not done, the miscommunication that's occurred is that you think that your inner map is the same as their inner map, and that's delusional. Every single person has grown up differently, has experienced different things. Even 2 kids growing up in the same home, watching the same TV shows, doing everything exactly the same. Their little unconscious minds have taken things in and perceived it differently. Differences could be huge, differences could be minor. Either way, they both operate with different internal maps. Therefore, whatever expectations or rules that you have for life, if you 1, don't communicate them to somebody else, then 2, you should not be upset when they're not met, and 3, if you've never assessed whether they're realistic or not, then maybe you should do that. Because an unrealistic expectation might be that I feel hurt when my partner comes home and he doesn't say that he loves me every single day. Okay, that's a bit ridiculous. That's pretty ridiculous. You're setting yourself up for failure, right? By having that rule or condition in your brain, then you're setting yourself up to be hurt easily. Here's a funny thing. Isn't it interesting how we've got like so many rules and I guess maps inside for accessing negative behaviors and stuff like that and negative feelings, but isn't it interesting how our threshold to enter anger or frustration or irritation or sadness or depression is so low, yet so many people have got this high expectation for happiness, joy, gratitude, love. Is that like wrong? Think about it. Shouldn't it be the other way around? We should have a low expectation for happiness, joy, love, gratitude. That way, it only takes a little bit for us to feel good. And our threshold for irritation, frustration, sadness, anxiety, fear, anger should be high. But most people operate the other way around. Understand clearly that we're programmed biologically to notice negatives. That's how we survived the caves, by worrying what's around the corner. But in today's day and age, we don't have to worry about a beast coming into our cave and eating us. It's important that we correct our brain and we correct our expectations. Tony Robbins says, trade your expectations for appreciation. You'll never be upset again. Trade your expectations for appreciation. Let's not be silly and say that, hey, don't have expectations, because that's impossible. And you have to expect things. But what I think, this is my point of view, is I think it's a really good thing to have expectations that are realistic and communicated. And with those expectations, here's the key. Instead of us getting to a point where the expectation's not been met and then us feeling completely overwhelmed and upset and fearful and hurt and whatever, it's better to have the expectation, to expect it to happen, because that creates the law of attraction. You assume the sale, you expect it to happen, therefore it gets that energy moving in your direction, but not be attached to the outcome. It's a fine line, it takes practice. Expecting it to happen without attachment to the outcome allows you to get there, and if you get the success, it's like, great, I expected it. But if it doesn't happen, you're not like completely bummed out and overwhelmed. You can very quickly pull yourself up, reiterate based on the feedback and the learning, adjust your approach, and keep going until you get the result. Because the only way that you fail is by stopping. Life's like a GPS. Chuck in the end destination, start driving. If you take the wrong route, readjust, keep going. The only way you don't get there is by stopping driving.